I got a lot of requests for people vibing on this video and wanting to figure out how he's playing it and what he's doing. So check it out. I'm going to lay down the loop and then I'm going to explain everything in detail. Okay, let's start with the chords, and then we'll go into detail about how to really sink into a good groove, and then we'll look at some extra details after that. So our chords in the key of E minor are E minor 7, D minor 7, to A minor 7, a little bit quickly, C major 7, I can hammer my pinky on the B string, and then this A with the B in the bass. And then what I do is I take this top A triad and just move it down a half step. It's kind of funny to feel, the first time you might do it, but this is a good chord and a common movement between this slash chord from here to here. We could just call this like a B altered chord, just something stronger that pulls you into that E minor 7 again. Yeah, so he plays those chords, right? He just strums them first. Grabbing that high E string there. Beautiful. And the effect that he uses that makes it sound interesting and kind of just wacky out of tune is a vibrato effect. He puts it on, it's a kind of a slower speed, and it gives it that kind of weird, almost like an old time, just like, I don't know, broken record kind of vibe. It's dope though. He uses that a lot, so it's a vibrato. Slow vibrato, so it's just shaking it really out of tune. Alright, so now let's break down the loops one by one. Now the first thing that he does is an octave on the E. So I'm going to play the G string, 9th fret, the high E string, 12th fret, and I want to mute everything else. So I only hit those two strings, which are both E's, or octaves. This is a common thing in funk, to hit that octave and keep a funky groove like that. So we got the octave down. Now the tricky part is hitting that groove, right? Staying in the solid time. So the first thing we want to think about is, what's our rhythm? 16th notes is our subdivision, okay? So before we even try and accomplish it, we want to make sure that we could hit 16th notes steadily and comfortably. And that's the way I would practice it. Hit the metronome on and just see if I'm lining up with the metronome, going 1 E and a 2 E and a. Just muted strings, touching the strings. Okay, after I'm comfortable with that, I want to know exactly which rhythms I'm hitting. If I'm transcribing a specific rhythm like this is exactly how I'm going to figure out how to do it and play it exactly like what I'm hearing. So I make a graph of 16th notes, full measure long, and I just X out wherever I'm hearing the note. In this rhythm, the first beat is all hit, right? 1 E and a. He hits all those. Cool. And then I look at it, I see the other ones, boom, 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 just like that. And then if I keep my hand in rhythm, down, up, I'll know which times I hit it and whether it's a downstroke or an upstroke. So now I'm getting really specific and I could really just make sure I got it together. And after I know exactly what that is, then I start slow, and then I can pick up the speed, And again, I just want to be able to do it in 16th notes, just the rhythm, muted, and then after I know exactly what I'm doing as well, I can put that together. Muted, the rhythm. And that's how I'm able to lock in that very first part. Now for the next part, when he starts playing the chords rhythmically and loops that, we do the same thing. We think about exactly where our beats are at. Starting with the E minor 7, notice that there's a lot of downstrokes. Only the first 2 strokes are a down up and everything else is just down, strong downstrokes. And I'm alternating between an E minor 7 and just lifting my 2nd and 3rd finger up. And it's just a common move, we could think about it like that. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a... So that's how slow I want to take it, even slower, just know exactly what I'm doing. And then after I get comfortable with that, I can speed it up and bring it into a groove. So after those 2 parts are laid down, he solos a little bit, just simply over E minor pentatonic really. It's going to sound real nice. And then he starts to throw in this bass part with his octave pedal, right? He plays the guitar, octave pedal to bring out this bassier tone. And a lot of what he's doing, he's just hitting the root notes for these chords. The main kind of movement is in that very first chord, he's walking down this E minor scale. Or you can really think about it like he's walking down an E minor triad all the way down from the E. So we hit the E, B, G, F sharp. That move. Then he hits a D to the A. Walking up to the C. And then down to that B. And just does a walk up back to the E. Chromatic walk up from D, D sharp, E. Walk up. And then from there he starts soloing again, this time with his auto wah on, and same deal, just E minor pentatonic, and just kind of pay attention to the groove, think about phrasing, and you're golden. Tabs for the main looped parts and a couple of licks that he played are going to be in a link in the description below to my Patreon. Thank you so much to my supporters already. And I'm very excited to introduce my Neo Soul guitar book that includes 7 different jam scenarios, each with its own unique chord progression, rhythm style, and how to solo over it. Look in the description to see how to get a free sample or the full copy. And on top of that, there's a bunch of exclusive lessons that are always being added and additional content for all the lessons, backing tracks, and all that jazz. So be sure to check it out and keep jamming, baby.